Hey everybody, welcome back to the new episode of Soaps and Sass.
Yes, episode 15 already. Can you believe it?
No, not really.
All right. Well, we are at episode 15 for the week of April 14th to 18th. We're going to talk about some General Hospital, give you a little bit of soap and a lot of sass.
Yes. All right, Mom, do you want to start off the recap?
I will. I've changed the format a little bit, so it's theme-based.
All right.
All right. So the main stories this week, or the stories this week, we had the story of Christina's committal. And
yes.
by that, Ava went to see Alexis at the end of last week, said, listen, I want my money. Alexis hired Diane and said, what can I do? And Diane had told her, you need to have Christina committed. So we were all curious. Will Alexis cave? Yerp. I don't think that was really any great surprise to any of us.
No.
Incredibly disappointing.
Very.
But she caved. And of course, no sooner than she gives Ava the money, Ava wants more. We'll see what happens there. We also have the referendum over the docks, which was a really hot story this week. Well, hot, I don't know, but
the confrontation was interesting.
It was a busy story. So Laura explained her position to Sunny. Mm-hmm. Sunny was like, okay, I hear you. They have the press conference, as Curtis had suggested, to let people know they were having a referendum. Boyle plays the pain in the ass. This is like throwing all these questions about, yeah, but what about your relationship with Sunny, when the reporters are supposed to be asking questions, but whatever. Boyle drags Jordan into the confrontation and says, how do you feel about Laura siding with Sunny all the time and she's not making a clear decision? And since Laura and Jordan already had a plan, Jordan executes but makes a small change where she was supposed to be fired. She actually resigns, which completely caught Laura off guard, which I was confused by because I'm like, y'all had a plan. But then we learned, no, Laura really was not expecting her to resign. Anna is stunned, Curtis is dismayed, and Drew, of course being Drew, he gloats.
He's like a child who's giddy and happy in the snow.
Drew sees this as an opportunity to put Boyle in the mayor's office. Curtis, on the other hand, thinks there's something funky. He and Anna had a conversation, and he's like, I'm not buying this. So he goes to see Jordan, and Jordan's like, listen, I don't want to lie to you, so just leave it alone. Jens is right in. It's like, oh, you don't have a job. Listen, come work for me. So by the end of the week, Jordan has accepted or is about to accept Jens's offer, which
her little boyfriend.
Isaiah is not happy about it. I don't know how he can call himself her little boyfriend or any kind of boyfriend because really they just barely got started. So I don't know why he's all in his feelings. But whatever. Sunny calls Diane and says, look, this is what's going on. You need to put a stop to this. And Diane's like, yeah, there's really nothing you can do. Just, this is not a fight or a hill you want to die on. Just let it go. And I'm going to circle back to that meeting with Diane and Sunny in a minute. The repercussions of this referendum extend to Rocco a little bit. And I'm not sure, I think this is probably just a minor plot point, but still, they made a big deal out of it. What with both Sunny and Laura being his grandparents, Rocco has a debate coming up, and so he doesn't want to turn it into any kind of ridiculous media circus or have any impact on Laura's campaign should she choose to run for re-election. So he asks Sunny to stay home. Yep. And you can see Rocco was really regretting this decision. He does not. So I think he's going to reverse it, but he's regretting it. Mac is equally concerned about the referendum, and so he has Felicia. So I'm assuming John York has something going on in his personal life that we don't actually see him. But Felicia goes to Carly and says, listen, can you go talk to Sunny because you're the only person he'll listen to, ask him to stand down. Right.
You said this, and I don't think this is the case because you said Mac has Felicia. I don't think Mac has Felicia doing anything. I think Felicia sees Mac is stressed out and is taking it upon herself to talk to people about it.
Possibly because she does it twice.
I recognize that.
She asked Carly. She said Mac wants a favor, and then she went to Anna, and I think she said to Anna that Mac wanted a favor as well. I'm not sure that she did.
I don't think she said a favor, but I think she said it would really help if you could do whatever.
Right. But, so with Anna, I think, but she
Anna might actually be a favor, but
she specifically said to Carly that Mac wants a favor.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
So that's why. Minor storyline that I don't care about, but some interesting things a little bit. Kai decides to go ahead with the surgery. Portia, that's before Portia even comes back with her recommendation against it. Trina lost her mind, is running all around town trying to get him to change his mind, get other people to change his mind. I will move past that. Another very, very interesting story for me, because I always like a good argument, is Carly and Willow. Carly was feeling bad. She lost her temper. I think she overstepped, especially, nearly slapping Willow last week. Jack says, no, you set the perfect trap. Drew's going to do something stupid and overextend himself and tip his hand, and that's when you shine. And on the other side of town, Willow's thinking that, Carly made some really good points and may have hit some truths. But Nina reassures Willow that she's nothing like Nell. And Drew, speaking of overstepping and overstretching, Drew had his lawyer, which apparently is not Martin, because Martin's out of town, we think. But so Drew had some papers drawn up for he and Willow to, for lack of a better word, because I couldn't think of it at the time, exchange custody of their children if something should happen to the other. So basically, Willow would be responsible for Scout, Drew would be responsible for Wiley and Amelia. I'm going to come back to that later, I'm sure. And Willow has a momentary pause, but she signs the document. Good luck to you, Willow. Jens is trying desperately to get rid of Sonny. He has some very, very interesting machinations this week. He goes to see Tracy.
Machinations?
Machinations?
Okay, I was about to say.
Machinations?
I was like, that H came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I mispronounced it as well. But anyways, he has some maneuverings, is what he has. He goes to see Tracy and makes her a great offer of, hey, if I could get rid of Sonny. And she's like, oh, okay, tell me more. So he makes her a really great deal, how they can amend the agreement that they have with Deception so they can get the Zincite in perpetuity. And she thinks it's a great offer, but she doesn't trust Jens any more than she trusts Sonny. And I mean, he's the new guy in town, so whatever. So I'm not sure how that plays out, because I don't think we saw the end of that this week. Later in the week, the Deception, they're all excited because their new product has launched very successfully. Lucy goes over to see Jens to give him a sample of the product, and oops, it slipped. But I don't know if you knew, but Natalia and I were married. And Lucy loses her mind. And she tells Natalia that her days are numbered. In the meantime, on the other side of town, Jason has gone to see Maxie and Brooklyn. And he also tells them that Natalia and Jens were married. Which reminds me that I maybe skipped over how they found out. So give me half a second and I will tell you about that. But anyway, Natalia and Jens are arguing, like, why did you tell her, blah, 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 blah. Jens is like, you know what? I know you're worried, but I can help you out. I can probably keep you in a deception, but more importantly, I can help you with our son, because I know you really, really want this relationship. I know you're hurt by the chasm between you two. But I just need a little bit of information. I need to understand, what's the relationship between you and Sonny? Why was he with you when you went to see the cardiologist? And basically Natalia outs Sonny and lets Jens know that Sonny needs open heart surgery.
Which is exactly what Sonny didn't want her to do.
Exactly.
And she said, I would never tell him.
Condition. Right?
It's like, you said you would never tell him.
Spilled the beans. But it's like, okay. Cool. So how did Jason and Sonny find out about Jens? Well, Diane takes Marco, because Diane decided to hire Marco. So she takes him over to Sonny's to introduce him, and Jason is there. And obviously, we already know that Sonny knows who Marco is. So Diane's like, this is our newest associate,
Marco
blah, blah, blah.
Rios. It's like,
And Sonny says, well, why don't you have the same last name as your father? And Diane's like, Kesakaka? And he's like, oh, didn't he tell you that he's Jen Sidwell's son? The look on Diane's face, holy moly. So Diane is absolutely mortified. She looks at Marco and is like, get thee gone. We gonna have some words. So Marco leaves. Sonny sends Jason after Marco. And so Diane is completely ready to dismiss Marco. And Sonny's like, I have a plan. We didn't find out yet what the plan is. So we'll be keeping an eye on that.
Marco has words with Alexis. Oh, wait, you were getting to the Jason and Marco part, weren't you?
Yes, because I think that came first.
It did come first.
Yeah, so Jason goes over to the firm and speaking to Marco and basically listen, no, I don't trust you. Like, I don't understand why nobody knew this. And Marco made a very excellent argument, I must say.
To both like, Jason and Alexis.
Yeah, he says, I'm not my father, but okay. And actually, as he was speaking to Jason, Lucas came in. So Lucas also knows that Jens is his father. And Lucas is just like, listen, this has nothing to do with me. I'm out. And he jets fast as possible. So that was really hilarious. Alexis shows up and says, oh yeah, Jens is here. Not Jens, excuse me. Marco is here. So she and Marco have words. And Marco's like, listen, okay, I did my background check on you as well. You're a Cassadine. You don't use the same last name as your family. You don't leverage them, and you don't associate with them. So I'm not sure why that's different for me. And the other point that Marco made very, very well, who reveals their parentage at an interview? Like, how is that ever a requirement? So anyway, I'm going to leave that alone for now. Liz is out of the hospital. Amy is a nuisance. We got to see Amy, but anyway, so that's really that story. Dante had a birthday this week. Nothing really interesting there other than a small interaction between Cody and Molly as Cody was on his way to the birthday party that we never saw him at. And she got a flat tire. Cody rides up on Hades, who looks a lot like Comet, but I've been told that Comet is a fully white-faced horse. Anyway, I digress. So Cody rides up on the horse. He sees Molly with the flat tire, goes to change it for her. Then her spare has a ridiculous hole in it. I don't even understand that she neglected to repair. After some blah, 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 Cody manages to convince Molly to ride off with him. Molly grabs her briefcase, and we'll come back to that. But anyways,
I think that was the comedy moment.
So Molly grabs her briefcase, and they ride off on the horse. That's the last we see of them.
Lulu and her foolishness.
I don't know that there's really anything to say about Lulu. I didn't see the point of Lulu talking to Lois and Gio, but
fair enough. But simply enough, looks like Lulu might be figuring out the connection between Gio and the family.
Yep. And then we have Joss's injury. She's at the hospital getting it taken care of by Gannon, which sets up the opportunity for her to see Dalton, the professor that she's supposed to chummy chum with. He's at the hospital carrying a briefcase, which we can only assume is supposed to be sus because of the way they portrayed it. She follows him to a lab in the hospital, which he conveniently has a pass for. And when he comes out, he doesn't have the briefcase anymore. So that happened. And Emma's doing her community service. Whoop-de-doo. Those are the main storylines for the week. So there's a couple I want to jump into. Do you want to talk about Carly versus Willow, or do you want to talk about the referendum? Or do you want to talk about Christina being committed?
Let's start with Christina being committed.
All right.
Because as I had said in last week's episode, I was really looking forward to how that was going to play out. And I don't know where Diane ran off to when Alexis left the office or if she was still there. But the minute those papers were printed and handed to Alexis, she should have signed them right there, and Diane should have watched her do it.
Yep. Well, but after a lovely girls' night and Christina and Molly bonded so tight.
Hence why I said she should not have left that office without signing them. Because, granted, she did not know that the girls would be at the house, save for Molly, because Molly now lives there again. But she did not know Christina was going to be there, and then that was going to be their Davis girls' night. Mm-hmm. And,
they had some quality girl time, and I'm just like, oh, Alexis. I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed on so many levels because not only is she, again, protecting Christina, which in this case is certainly going to be to Molly's detriment, and she's rationalizing to herself about how it's going to be good, but then she compounds that by committing a crime. It's like, Alexis, come on. You really have to know it's the wrong decision when you're committing a crime.
And the thing that made it worse,
you're not saving anybody's life by committing this crime.
Nope. And the thing that made it worse, though, as you had said, is that when she showed up the next day and Diane was on the phone being like, yes, I will have this paper sheet within the hour, she then proceeds to say to Diane, we got to cover this up. No one can know. And Diane was like, and to be honest, I'm really surprised Diane, to an extent, went along with it. Because it's not like she went with, like, what we're saying. It's like she's not going to put her own law license at risk. But she's also like, I will, if it comes out, I will defend Christina as best as I can. But honestly, it's like, Alexa, you're really not, you're making her job more difficult. Because as she said, it's like, by committing Christina, if this should ever come out, you give us the best defense for insanity.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because you are under no obligation to reveal that she committed a crime.
Nope. And
you're taking steps to get her the help she needs. Like, I don't understand how it hasn't occurred to Alexis that this can only get worse. Unless at some point we're going to see Alexis go and confront Christina and maybe have Christina commit herself.
She won't.
No, I'm sure she won't either, because Christina's too damn selfish for that. But I'm gutted. I'm gutted because I really, really like Alexis, and
the thing
this is just another bad decision.
It is, and not only by committing Christina are you, protecting, to an extent, Ava, because but you're protecting Christina, because by not committing Christina, Ava and Christina are gonna have more run-ins, and the more run-ins they have, the more one is going to provoke the other, and again, tends to be Ava provoking Christina by her little things involving Avery or just comments involving her family, and it's going to send Christina off the deep end. Mm-hmm. And then Christina's going to do something that you really cannot, save her from. It's like she might actively, pull out a gun, pull out a knife, and try to actually attack Ava bold-faced soul. And there's a witness. You can't protect Christina at that point. Because you didn't put her in Ferncliff where she could have gotten the help and whatever she needs. Because Christina hit a low, but it's like she'll hit that low again at some point.
Oh, for sure.
She's already at rock bottom. There's only one place to go, but she apparently has a pickaxe and is still digging at rock bottom.
And the thing that equally has me concerned is with respect to Alexis, right? She's committed this crime now of embezzlement, and Sidwell has the knife that killed Alexis's mother with Alexis's fingerprints. How is this all going to pull together, right? Now she's going to be found with multiple crimes? Or
and framed again.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Framed for whatever Sidwell has the knife for. Maybe Sunny.
Yep. Charged for actually committing embezzlement.
Well, exactly. And she's actually committed a crime, so those are going to double up. She's going to get found out for everything. How's that going to be good for Alexis? Right? And it's not like... Well, anyway. I don't know what I was going to say there. So I'm concerned. I'm worried. I don't like it.
I'm concerned too. But on the road of Alexis, I'm going to transition into Marco and Natalia for...
Sure.
Because I'm sitting here and you were going off on the recap, and I'm just like, y'all are like, and I say y'all in the sense of the characters, just common sense is lacking. Like in Natalia's case and both Marco's, both of them were not required, entitled, nothing for them to say that they were related or married to Jens.
I don't agree with Natalia.
Well, okay. Before Jen showed up, I mean.
Oh, before he showed up, no, agreed.
After he showed up, she should have said something straight up. Especially because you knew this man is trouble. You don't know what he wants, and he's now getting in bed with the ladies you work with. That should have been like a number one thing. Like, hey, I didn't say this before because it wasn't relevant, but it's now relevant. Don't do business with this man because I was married to this man. It didn't last long.
She doesn't even have to make a recommendation one way or the other.
No,
but exactly as you said, it wasn't relevant before, may be relevant to you now. That's my ex-husband. Point that in. You don't need to say anything more. Sorry, that was full stop.
In terms of Marco, but
Marco did not need to disclose.
No, because I'm like, and the fact that Diane, after Marco left, had said to Sunny, he's like, I will fire him immediately if you want me to, or whatever. I'm like, that's discrimination. You can't fire someone based off their parentage. Like, and then if you think about it, if you flip the script from, like, Sunny's perspective and his kids, it's like, If Morgan goes out into the world, gets a job,
they would never have a job.
Fair enough, but Michael's a Corinthos. He's working at Aurora, doing his stuff at ELQ. But my point is, if Morgan was still alive, say Morgan goes out in the world, or Donna makes more sense since Donna's a child. Donna grows up. Donna goes out in the world. She wants to, spread her wings because she now discovers her father is a little shady, and wants to go out, spread her wings, as I said, and make a name for herself. Gets hired in whatever business she wants to get work in, and then come to find out, it's like, Sonny Corinthos is your father. Yes, he is, but I don't associate. Like, granted, I get her. I would assume her last name is Corinthos.
It is.
Right.
Corinthos Davis.
Donna?
Oh, Donna. Sorry. I'm sorry. I was thinking Christina all the while, but you did say Donna.
I did say Donna.
Yes, and sorry, my brain went somewhere else. I'm so sorry.
Right, because I'm like, your parents were married, so yeah, would probably be Corinthos. But, say Donna took her mom's name just because, distancing. It's like, the same rules could apply. She's not going to tell her employers, by the way, so-and-so back in so-and-so place is my father, so, we don't do that. No.
But what I was thinking is it may actually have been pertinent to Diane and Alexis.
With the JNS Industries or whatever?
Yeah, maybe
that I can understand.
Maybe because clearly you knew Sonny was their client. So,
probably not, actually.
Well, I'm not sure. But
anyway. Sure, you do digging, but they're not going to have any information that's like, oh, these are our top clients. No law firm does that until you start working there.
I guess so. Yeah.
Because as Molly said, when her car got a flat tire, I can't leave legal files in the car. Are you insane?
Oh, you were desperate to jump to that comedy moment?
No, I wasn't.
Oh.
I just the connections of you don't tell people, you can't look up a firm's clients just like so.
No, fair enough. But yeah, all right, because we're keeping it short today,
right?
So yeah, that was one comedy moment of the week. Was Molly grabbing the papers and being on top of Hades and clutching the briefcase so tight, not holding a rein or nothing.
No, for me it was also the fact that she's just she's holding the reins while Cody's dealing with the car, and she's side eyeing this horse all terrified. I'm like, it's a horse.
No, but
I get horses can be dangerous, but I'm like, the horse is chilling. The horse ain't doing nothing.
They just did that for a plot point because one of the other things that we saw in the set is that there was a street sign. He could have tied the horse to the post.
Fair enough.
It was simpler to give him to Molly, but anyways.
But yeah.
But for me, as you know, because I've told you this before, symbolism tends to be lost on me.
Yes.
Absolutely goes right over my head. But this one, here comes the cowboy on a white steed to rescue the damsel in distress.
I loved it, and what made it even better was when they were leaving. Because I told you, I'm like, I looked at that scene, I was like, this is perfect. The author could see this scene and be like, oh, my next story has just come into my head. Businesswoman, workaholic, goes to a small town for a client, meets a cowboy, falls in love, but then leaves. It's like, it's been written more than likely,
I'm sure.
But just seeing it, it's just like, the romantic in me.
Really?
Yes.
I was disgusted. It's not that I don't have any romantic bones because I got a lot of them. I was just like, can you stop shoving this down my throat? That was ridiculous. It's not dreamy. It's not...
You and I have different tastes in romance, Mother.
Listen.
That's very clear.
It's like, it was one thing when you had Cody talking to Rick outside the police station saying, stop playing the tail. Your daughter does not need this confusion between you and your ex-wife. That was one thing. That was manly. That was stepping up. I was very impressed, and I was totally here for it. Right?
I'm just looking because I'm like, oh, you and I really have different tastes in romance.
I didn't say that was romantic. It was chivalrous.
No,
it was chivalrous.
No,
I was here for it.
Okay, that was even for me. Was like, it's one of those moments where it's like you step up against the in-law, even though they're not together or anything. But it's like you stand up for your woman. That is just like. That's attractive. It's like, yes, defend her. I'm here for it. But I'm like, the cheesy romance is like... That's more what I mean.
Yes,
the stereotypical cowboy on a horse, businesswoman.
And
like,
that's the difference.
That's my point. It's like
maybe,
you don't.
Maybe
we have
when
different
you get to be my age, you will have no patience for cheesy romance.
With what I read, I highly doubt that.
I don't have patience for Hallmark movies or anything like that.
No, Hallmark movies are they're cringe, but because they're cringe, they're funny, and you're just like, why?
I like a good romance. I do. Don't get me wrong. But anyways, yeah. I'm gonna leave it there. Send your letters to somebody else. Okay.
There's one thing I did want to bring up.
Yeah.
Earlier in the week, Chase and Brooklyn were having a conversation when they were supposed to be over at.
Leave that out.
When everyone was over at Sunny's for Dante's birthday.
Yeah.
Chase was not feeling up to it because he still couldn't get over the fact that he couldn't get Brooklyn pregnant, and they had a nice conversation as per usual. And they came to the conclusion, or decision really, that they didn't want to go through IVF because they didn't want to go through what Molly went through in the surrogacy.
No, that's surrogacy, not IVF.
Two
different things. So IVF, in vitro fertilization, is you would have a sperm donor and Brooklyn would carry the child.
Yes, I recognize that, but
which is different than what Christina and Molly went through, which was surrogacy.
But she mentioned both.
Yes, I know.
She mentioned Molly's first surrogate, and then she mentioned Christina. So she brought both situations. But she said it. In she's like, I don't want to go through the IVF sperm donor and go through what Molly went through with her surrogate and Christina with her pregnancy.
Sorry, I clearly missed a comma somewhere in what you were saying. Go on. Go on.
That's family, man. And interrupting me. The point is, she's like, I don't want to go through all of that. And every time she thinks adoption is the way to go. And Chase agrees with her. He just didn't he just didn't know how she'd feel about the idea of what she went through, which I think is so sweet, because even I was thinking that. And then Chase brings up the idea of them adopting an older child, which I think, again, is also a great idea because, a lot of the older kids get forgotten about, and people are like, I want a baby, I want the experience. It's like, okay, I hear you, but there's still, actual young kids and older kids who don't get adopted and age out the system and are resentful and yada, 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 and they deserve a home too. So I think it was a really good idea. They also tied back in, I forget her name, but the other quartermain who was adopted when she was 12, Emily, I think her name?
Emily.
Yes, they brought in Emily and how she was adopted and yada, yada, and I'm like, ooh, new quartermain on the canvas. Who are we going to see? New child. So I'm here for it. But I had also mentioned how I was curious of how that was going to play out, if they were still going to go through with it once the Geo secret came out.
Indeed. And maybe they will. Maybe they'll be partway through. Okay, so we have about 15 minutes left because I've got a super hard stop today. So let's go through our categories. So your comedy moment of the week you already covered?
Comedy moment, Cody and Molly, with a tad bit of Diane with her reaction to Sunny finding out about Rio. Marco being Jen's son, and that was just interesting.
See, now for me that was the make it make sense moment.
Which you mentioned.
Right? So make it make sense. So when Sunny revealed Marco's parentage, Diane looked like she was gonna just poop all her innards.
And that was after she left.
Last bit. And we were confused because we were like, why does Diane look so terrified? Like, Sunny's not gonna do anything to her. So for me, I didn't think it was funny. I was just confused as to why she looked so scared.
No, the funny part for me was her, not necessarily her being terrified, but it was more the babbling of, oh my God, Sunny, I didn't know. And like her face when she actually looked at Marco and said, excuse me? Because she just found all these things out last minute and people telling her what, and she's like, poor Diane. But no, I agree. It's like Diane, what's going on with you and Sunny? Like, I don't think I've ever seen you so terrified. Like, has he been threatened? Like, what is just like, I know you have an interesting relationship with Sunny, but compared to all your other clients, Sunny would be the most toxic and abusive to an extent.
Yep. So anyway, for me, that did not make sense. The look on her face, I didn't understand why she had that particular, looking horrified, great. Looking terrified, not so much. I'm going to jump over to the Kesa Keke, or Delulu of the week.
Okay.
Do you have one?
Drew and Willow.
Oh.
Which we didn't talk about, but
Okay.
I'm like, we can totally come back to this later after you get back from your thing. But yeah. Just that's very presumptuous of you. Very, I'm going to present this document to my girlfriend and have her sign it, so in case anything happens while Michael is incapacitated, I get custody of your kids, or vice versa. Because I'm like, if he hadn't said, if something happens to me, you take care of Scout, which again, in Scout's case makes sense. You are her single parent. Then again, she has a grandmother and aunts. She's not totally alone in the world. But I'm like, still, it makes sense. Again, if you hadn't mentioned Scout, I'd be like, sir, what the ever-loving hell? You just... And I can tell you this, when they find out about that document, because Nina will find out about that document, because I believe Willow's going to say something to her. One, Nina's going to be like, why did you sign it? I'm here for you and the kids, and if something happens to you, I would happily take care of my grandkids. She's going to be upset about that. Then Nina's going to run off to Carly and tell her, yo, Willow just did this thing. And, no. Carly's going to be pissed and start to get Diana on that one to fight that. And then the Quartermaines are somehow going to find out. It's going to be a nuclear fallout. And Michael, oh my God, when he finds out, should this get back to him, oh, Lord, it'll be I said nuclear fallout. I don't know if an atomic fallout is worse, but,
Right. So, my Delulu of the week, my Kesa Keke, also with Drew, but it's Drew and Boyle.
Fair enough.
Drew and Boyle back at the office. They are doing Dixie. They are so delighted that Laura seems to be on the ropes. They have her just where they want her, and they're gloating. They are Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yep.
is basically what they are for me.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, we could do this and we could do that. We could do the third, and it's like,
wait till you get into seats, man.
I was just gobsmacked as a woman of color, and that's the perspective I'm coming to here. I know this is fiction, but it just further portrayed the arrogance of the privilege. Your privilege is just blinding, You feel you're an empowered, whatever. You don't see these women coming at all. You think you went and did something when you did nothing at all.
No.
I'm amused and I'm mad.
And it's interesting because I'm like, I know we're a little short on time this week just because of doing this, but I'm like, I really feel like we should pause and come back to this just later because there's so much I want to talk about from the press conference and after, from what Laura said to Drew about the constituents and abuse of power.
Fine.
And just,
Okay, so the other thing that really tickled my funny bone, and I don't know that it really has a category, but you know what? I might throw that into our new category, Make It Sassy. We missed a trick. How do we not have a Make It Sassy? It was when Drew was speaking to Boyle afterwards, and again, the arrogance of the privilege, right? He's talking about, okay, so we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and you can run for mayor, and you will continue to do what I tell you to do as you have been doing what I tell you to do. And I'm thinking, again, at least on Drew's part very specifically, I think this is a massive miscalculation because the same way you are currently puppeting Boyle, you don't think somebody else with deeper pockets can come in and puppet Boyle, rather? Have I been calling him Doyle all along?
I don't know, but whatever.
Right? Or blackmail him. Sure, you have whatever. You're making him whatever promises that
you can't keep.
Right? And heaven help you, the first time you break a promise, he will flip quick, faster than Natalia did. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
My sassy moment of the week it goes to Molly when they were leaving, and she tells Cody, I gotta grab my briefcase from the car. And Cody's like, what? Just leave it. And she's like, these are legal documents. I can't leave legal documents in a car. And then like the look on her face, the tone of her voice was just like, I couldn't. So I was like, that goes to Molly.
How very dare you?
Right? It's like the audacity.
Wait, you mad?
Exactly. So that goes to Molly this week.
Okay. Villain of the week?
Let's see. Drew the manipulation. Sidwell the manipulation. I think that's it.
Okay.
I don't think there's anybody else.
My villain is going to go squarely to Natalia. Who told you to open your mouth? Your lips too fast. Snitches get stitches.
And sleep with the fishes in them ditches.
Hero of the week?
I will say Uncle Sass will be proud of that one.
Sure.
Hero of the week. It goes to Olivia just because of the talk she had with Sasha in today's episode about being part of the family and how she's been holding on to a letter that Tracy wrote her 8 years ago when she married into the family.
Okay. I can see that. I don't know. I think I have a few for various reasons. It's not anything super heroic, but I'm going to give one to Lucas for coming in and helping get Amy out of Liz's place.
God.
Because
Amy had to go. Let's just say
Amy had to go. I'm going to give one to Rocco.
Okay.
For recognizing that it was a bad situation and wanting to protect his grandmother, even though it was hard. And one to Chase.
Okay.
For being open about his feelings with his wife. So yeah, I like you. I love them together. What did I miss anything? I think I missed a category.
There was what had us hot, and I feel like you did have a moment, but that might be for Beyond the Gates.
I think it's probably Beyond the Gates.
All right.
Because I don't see anything here at the moment. I mean, certainly Natalia just losing her mind. I was not impressed, but I can't say I was super hot over it.
That's fair.
Who called for that? What'd you do that for? I don't think I really have anything there.
No, I don't either.
Nope. Oh, actually, no, I tell a lie. I did have a what had me hot. I did. You may recall that Kai showed up at Drew's house this week.
Yes, I do recall that. I'm not exactly sure.
Why would I be hot?
Yeah.
I am hot because what Kai said
was,
Curtis gave me your address.
Right.
Curtis.
Right.
What are you giving out people's home address for?
Right.
And to a congressman, no less.
Right.
And you have beef. Like, what?
Right.
What?
Right. Right.
I feel like I need to say that some more, but I'm going to stop. Like, listen.
Because I'm like, you already get mad at people when they give out your number.
Right? Don't give out my phone number. And you going to turn around and give out my home address?
Yep.
Oh, no. You and me are done and dusted like what? Now, to be fair, Curtis and Drew are already done and dusted. But, I mean, I've always wondered, how do people find people at home so fast in Port Charles, right? Like, because we don't have phone books anymore. But everybody seems to know where everybody lives and you just move in.
Yep.
So I was not at all impressed. That was not the thing to do. And then I suppose I was a little bit, it's not that it had me hot, but I thought Lucy had a right cheek when she showed up at Jens's house and see him talking to Jordan and want to ask her, what are you doing here? I was like, you have a ring on your finger, madam? You very bold with yourself. Again, privilege. I don't, whatever.
Keep in mind, Lucy's also a narcissist, so.
Yeah, well. Okay, that's my list, so.
All right.
I don't know what I was going to say next. I'm looking at you like a deer in the headlight.
That was very clear.
Okay, well, we may edit in some more stuff between now and later.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, thanks for tuning in
To Soaps and Sass.
We'll be back next week with a little more soap.
And